Though I'm going to do an update on what I've done so far now that I have my home panel installed. So what I got here, obviously we're in the garage. Um, this is a Coleman two shelf unit that I got online, and it's really strong, which is what I wanted. And it was a little bit of a pain to put together. It's one of those things where I had to like follow the directions and look carefully at the little drawings and try to get things oriented the correct way. But I got it together, and it's got a wire mesh, or not a, well, yeah, a wire thing on the bottom, and it's got a solid thing on the top. But they've got cross beams that reinforce it so it won't warp over time. Okay, so what I got down here on the bottom shelf then is the Delta Pros. So this is a Delta Pro, and that's a Delta Pro extra battery, and they're connected together, and they're connected via the Infinity cable to the smart home panel. I'll show you that in a minute. So those two Delta units then are connected to the house, or at least to some of the house, and they've got 3.6 kilowatt hours in each. So that's 7.2 kilowatt hours of battery power for the house. And then over here is this is the Delta Max and its extra battery, and they're each 2 kilowatt hours. And they're not connected to the house. They're not connected to anything inside the house yet. So if I want to use them, I can use them to charge something else. I haven't played with that yet, trying to charge the Delta Pros. I'll have to, well, there's some messing around I have to do. But anyway, so they're connected then through, I've got solar panels outside. So the front yard solar panels come in through the hole in the wall. And right now that's the smaller of the two, so it's going into the Delta Max. And then I've got solar panels in the backyard, which come in through a flat cable that I got on Amazon and through a hole in the table there. And then they come in and they're connected to the Delta Pros. Okay, then this is the Ecoflow Smart Panel, which the electrician installed for me yesterday. And you can see how it's installed. It sits, it's out of the wall, it mounts on the wall like this. But my circuit panel for the house was recessed. Luckily, these were attached with screws. The wall panel here, so he was able just to unscrew it and do the wiring, and then drill some holes in it and put it back. And I put in a little bit of insulation there. I'll probably clean that up later, maybe. So what this is then is a smart panel, and it's got room for two Delta Pros. Right now I only own one, so it's got a Delta Pro connection down here. And that's what this light means. It's connected to the house. This light means the first Delta Pro is running. There's a master on-off switch. If you open the panel here, basically what it has is it supports a maximum of 10 circuits. And I chose to go with 120 volt circuits only. If you have two Delta Pros, I'm in the US. If you have two Delta Pros, you can go with 240. But I thought about it, and the things it takes to do a 240, it would take up two of these slots. And also the devices I have that use 240 draw a lot of energy, and it would drain the batteries really quick in a power outage. So I thought about using a hot water heater. For a while, we have electric hot water. What else is on 240? The heat pump for the house, the electric range, the clothes dryer. I think there's like those four. Oh, and then also the EV charger. So basically, in a power outage, I wouldn't be using any of those things. If I'm going to cook in the kitchen, I'll use the microwave or use a gas grill outside. And tea kettle, coffee maker would work. I can use those in the house without having to use the electric range to cook with. For heat, if it gets too cold, I'll probably have to use the fireplace. I could use a small electric space heater, but for a single room or something. But anyway, so this shows whether they're turned on or not. Each individual circuit, 1 through 10. The green light on number 1 here means it's currently being supplied by battery. So my Delta Pros are powering circuit 1, which happens to be the kitchen refrigerator, basically. So I'm powering the kitchen refrigerator. I can turn these on and off, and if there's a problem, you'll get a red light if one of the circuits fails, or down here, if there's a general problem, this light here will come on. Whoops, this light here will come on and turn red. So basically, there's two conduits going into the panel, and one of them is an input. Whoops, one of them is an input, and one of them is an output from the home panel. So basically, what happens is the power is coming in from the grid, comes into here, and then for those 10 circuits that we've selected, they're connected. They will go into here and feed back, and then so this can decide whether to use the battery to charge those, or whether to allow just to pass through the grid. So my battery never, with the smart home panel, it never feeds back to the grid. It's only the smart home panel is downstream, so it goes from the grid to my home panel, and then to the smart home panel. So this is always in between everything as far as the grid is concerned. I want to make a shout out to Bird Electric, which is the electric company that's close down the road from me, and they gave me a good quote. They came in. This is the first one of these they had done, but Ecoflow has a online video and has an installation guide, and they watched that and read through that, and both the estimator and then their electrician that came out did that ahead of time, kind of. So they had a general idea of what they needed. They had researched what I needed. Some breakers changed out too, so they did all that for me while they were here. They're going to come back in a day or two and put in a house UPS for me. I don't have a house UPS. And they even relabeled my circuits, which is really nice. So I want to make a shout out to them. They did a great job. So now I got this set up, and in the app, maybe on a different video sometime I'll go into the app, the Ecoflow app. I've got some automation set up. I've got an automation where every night the Delta Pro will charge off the grid. That's like after this, when the sun is down and I'm not getting any solar, it'll charge off the grid. So then, overnight, then I'll have a charge in case we have a power outage. And I've also got one right now that's during the daytime when there is power. I'm powering the refrigerator, and so I've got those set up as an automation mode. And there's also a default automation in there where if the power goes off, then those 10 circuits automatically go to battery backup. I'll make a shout out, just a quick mention of my railroad here. I've just started thinking about this again. As those of you that have followed me for years know, I tend to play with the railroad in the wintertime when the weather's crappy, and I don't. I kind of ignore it in the summer. And so now that the weather has turned, it's cold and rainy, I'm starting to think about the railroad and trying to decide which things I need to work. There's so much I can do on it. So I'm just trying to decide what things I might want to work on first. I think this might be a winter mostly for decoration, trying to get the railroad looking better. I might also go to start gluing down the track. I've never, except for a small part, I've never really done that, and ballast everything, which is going to take a long time. So anyway, I'll be back. Stay tuned. I'll be back with the newbie railroad. But I just wanted to give a quick overview of what's going on with the Delta Pros. And so that's it from here for now, and I'll see you next time.